What's up, Mordhau players and people who may have just stumbled onto the channel? I am Wolf and today I'll be showing you my binds and how to optimize your game build for Mordhau. Now, the first thing you really want to do when it comes down to game settings is optimize the ragdoll limit and ragdoll stay time and quality. Now, personally, I had this up here as a default just so you guys could see how absurd it is. I like to have it very low because it just lets you see, or it lets the game run smoother. Now third, this is all up to you, by the way. Gore, always go full gore. You shouldn't be playing Mordhau if you don't want to go. Excuse me, if you don't want to go full gore, you should not be playing Mordhau. Head bob intensity. None of this stuff really matters though. Team colors on no team colors on gear is just a personal option. You can have that if you want it or not. Resolution, try to keep it at the highest. Window mode, full screen, borderless window. Obviously, that's also personal preference. This is, I believe, maybe unique just to certain computers, but that's not important. NVIDIA reflex low latency, that's not important. Now, the frame rate limit, I'd recommend if you really want to have it like at high frames, you want to be doing really well, you should have your frame rate not at the default of 60, but at like about 120 to 140. Vertical sync, because quite often you will have screen splits and you really need that vertical sync or the V-sync. Gamma, again, personal preference. Now, field of view, this is probably the most important. Always have it at the highest setting so you can see incoming attacks. That's if you're trying to play your best. If you just want to, mess around, you can have it at whatever setting you want. But really, for optimization, you should always have it at the highest setting. Anti-aliasing or aliasing. I am horrible at pronouncing words. But basically, it's just there to make your game look pretty. I like it on temporal AA. Doesn't really cause any problems. Texture quality, keep this on ultra. There's no reason it shouldn't be on ultra. It's like it's the thing that makes your game look the best. Effects quality doesn't really matter, because like obviously there are a lot of effects like fire in this game, but really there's no noticeable difference if you put it on lower, because these are they will actually take up a lot of this will take up a lot of your graphics, even though you don't need it. And it doesn't look that bad when it's just on medium. I haven't noticed it that much. Shadow quality, because it looks like Minecraft when it's on low. You got to keep it on high. You can have it, like, obviously, if you have the settings or the graphics card, you can keep everything on ultra. But personally, for recording and optimization, I just like my game to look good and to also be able to not have any lag while playing the game. So indirect shadows, turn that off. We don't need that. View distance, you really, like, unless you're playing Archer, you don't need it. You should just keep it on medium or low. Post-process quality is quite important if you want to make your game look good. So I recommend putting it on high. And foliage density is also very unimportant, so keep it on medium or low. It's just like bushes will randomly appear if you have it on medium or low, but it doesn't negatively affect your actual gameplay. It's actually kind of better to have it lower, because then you can see into bushes, which is kind of a cheat, but whatever. Character quality, I like to keep it on high. There's no ultra for it because there's no reason for it to have an ultra. Character cloth, nobody cares about cloth physics. Let's just be realistic. You could put it on only self and it wouldn't really affect it that much, and it wouldn't really be that bad either. But I just prefer to have it on no cloth just for the least lag possible. And ragdoll quality, I don't know. I just like to have it on medium. I don't need it to be super accurate. As long as I see some that getting chopped off and it looks like it's getting chopped off, I'm fine. But also screen space reflection. Bloom is nice to have. And ambient occlusions, we really don't need those. I also have this on default, just reset the settings. And lens flares are just nice if you look at the sun, makes the game more realistic. Audio really isn't important. It's all personal preference. Now, control settings. This is where it gets important. I'll show you how to set up your key binds. So you got to keep, I believe, yeah, mouse angle attacks with movement, or sorry, mouse x-axis flips with attack side. This will normally, I believe, be on. You got to turn this off. Make sure every box here is unchecked, and this stuff is all, again, personal preference. And control scheme, make it custom. Do not put it on 240. It will screw up your game if you put it on 240. Now for key bindings. I've played with a controller before, so don't mind what is primary and secondary. Only look if it's something that looks natural. So for strike, you got to make sure you have none for strike, because you do not want to. I believe it's backspace that makes it. Oh no, never mind. Whatever. I don't need that. I don't care really. I'll just put this on, what, an F key? Oh, never mind. This, whatever. It's unimportant. Just put it on a key that won't do anything. What, I forget. No. I forget how to change it to none. I think you just gotta... Honestly, I don't remember. Just put it on something that you're never... Okay, yeah. I found a key that'll do it. Basically, just turn off your strike. Because you don't need it. Move forward. Obviously, this really doesn't matter. This all the default stuff up until strike is all good. Now, make sure you have nothing binded for strike, because you don't want that. For sprint, just keep it on left shift, probably. It's best for that. Parry, right mouse button, don't change that. Feint or parry, this is absolutely useless. Just, you gotta have stuff for both. So feint Q is actually a pretty good thing, because you'll be able to, it's a natural key that you might press. It's not really off the keyboard too far, like something like G. So having it on Q, you can W, then Q, and then people might get nervous and panic parry. Now there's also stab. I have this bound to my thumb mouse button. It's the one. It's the one closest to the front of the mouse, and I like that because I can easily go for a morph without it being too hard. So you can just go with your left mouse button into a morph, and now my crouch is left control. By the way, I recommend keeping your stab on 240 just because you really don't need it to be anything else. Like, there's not a different type of or there's not really a way you can abuse a stab animation as easily as you can, or a different stab animations rather than with, sorry, there's not an easier way to abuse different stab animations compared to different strike animations. So I like having my left strike on, or I like having my right strike on my left mouse button, and my left strike on my second thumb mouse button, and that's because I like having the ability to keep all my normal strikes, so my left to right strikes, on the same sort of side of the mouse. Now you might notice, hey, you have left lower strike at Z, and there's a good reason for that. I ran out of mouse buttons. So, like, I have mouse wheel up as my right lower strike, and that's just because I can do a really easy riposte into right lower strike. And I'll quite often, I know how to just make it work, but honestly, it's not important that I have left lower strike on Z, because I have a flip attack side, which makes it easy for me to just riposte with the left alt key while holding down my while scrolling mouse wheel up. So as long as you have a flip attack side, you really don't need to have variants for both sides. I just like having variants for both sides because it makes it easier on me. I don't have to be pressing the flip attack side as much. But I do like having a left upper strike and a left a right upper strike bound to my mouse wheel. Same with my right lower strike. So it's by the way, you might notice that my right upper strike is the mouse right middle mouse button, which means that if I press it in, it'll do the right upper strike. But yeah, make sure no matter what you have a flip attack side, because this is one of the most important binds in Mordhau. And if you don't have a flip attack side, you are probably screwed, because you won't be able. Most mouses don't actually have enough buttons to sort of to use all these strikes. So it's best to have a flip attack side. Now, obviously, keep your stabs on 240 because it's not important. Battle cry, I like to keep this on V, just because there's no reason I would no other reason I would use V. Now, there's actually a way to do what are they called? The flourishes very easily. So basically, you got to do your primary. You got to it's for choose one, keep it at 1. But for the secondary, make it caps lock. And then, when it's the show emote menu, make the primary caps lock and the secondary X. So X will still work for other emotes, but just to make flourishes easy, just use the caps lock. Just use caps lock for secondary on choose one, and for show emote menu, make it the primary, so that you can do flourishes very easily, because flourish is the first option on the emote menu. And for there's no real reason you'd ever be skipping dialogue, because this game doesn't have anything. This game really doesn't have dialogue besides the tutorial. It's probably never even going to have a story mode. So, other than that, there's nothing really else. There's nothing else really to show you guys about how to use. How to optimize your binds. Just remember, no matter what you choose your binds to be, make sure you have a flip attack side, and make sure it's something that's easy to access. So like a left alt. If you don't have, you can easily move one of your fingers that's on WASD, or put your thumb down there. So it makes it more accessible whenever you want to change your attack side. But other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye.